Hey guys, welcome back. Um, Probably first things first, I do have some allergies, so you may hear me sniffle and whatever. That's just what that is. And I've had some on and off sneezing. Um, I'm going through my achievements, right? Got the day one trophy, got the trophy of speed, inheritance trophy, trophy 8. There's 4 more trophies, and then there's 8 hidden achievements, which is more than I think that there was in the actual game. We'll go ahead and continue with day 20. Um, to summarize what we have done recently, we opened the brick wall so we can kind of walk into the foundation area as long as we have a key card, um, and kind of go directly from out front of the house to the underground. We also, let's see, we've gotten the trophy room now once. What else? We are loading in the world. We got the conservatory. We got a package apparently. Lockpick kit, which is nice, gems and keys. So that starts us off on a good foot, and I won't forget to actually pick things up this time. So yeah, 27 allowance is pretty good. I had a little bit higher on my first playthrough, but that is just what it is. We got a few more places I know I can increase it. So we do have 7 out of what I think is going to be 8 red letters. I think the 8th one is in the trophy room, or not the trophy room, but in the throne room. But we'll have to see. We also did the chess set puzzle, so now we chose the power of the knight, which is the armory, and we're going to keep going from there. So we have yet to discover what red and what luck was. Schoolhouse will be nice, and the reason I say that is I suggested something in the last episode, which was now that we have the armory, we could theoretically get rid of the cost of a school classroom thing, and that's a very appealing possibility. We'll have to see again how that plays out, but just at face value, that's not bad. Library because it gives us uncommon options. I guess a hallway so it doesn't cost me anything. And workshop because hallway gets us half of the way anyway. And we want items like shovel. I kind of want magnifying glass as well. Can I get get conservatory here? So that'll be kind of big so that we can see that. And one big point in seeing this is digging. Just kidding. Also, we will have gyms in here, I think, because this place has water. No, I thought this. Let me think. No, maybe not, because the reservoir still has all the water in that. So I still think this room has all the water. But um, so one thing about this room though that's interesting is that it has like no shorter than I believe 4 pictures in the dark room, and it has who I think is Anne Babbage and one of the other maids. I think the older maid is Anne Babbage, but I can't be certain about that. But um, yeah, long story short, we have lots of pictures of this room, and therefore it's significant. Drafting locations West Wing only. Garage, West Wing Hall, Her Ladyship's chambers from a south facing door, so we have to go downward to get there. East Wing only, East Wing Hall and Master Bedroom, which is, Her Ladyship's chamber. We already knew from, let me think what it was. We did come across something that said that the West Wing was the woman's side and the East Wing was the dude's side. But that's kind of why Her Ladyship's chamber has to be a West Wing and Master Bedroom has to be the East Wing. So that's what that is. Other special cases, conservatory is only draftable in the corner, and bookshop is only draftable from the library. So that's valuable, but I don't know how central that is. The real bonus of the conservatory is this right here. In the conservatory, you can permanently adjust the rarity and rates of specific floor plans. So not just for today, it'll be for all time until we do it again. This one is rare and it lets us add stuff, so we're gonna make it common because we want to draft everything we can. Bedroom is common, which is fine. Planetarium, I feel like we don't really care about, so we can make this rare. And the other thing too, right? If we made everything common, like when I make something common, does it make something else rare? Or is it just everything becomes common? I don't know. But I don't ever use Planetarium. I don't feel the need to. Because just using Observatory will go up one by one anyway. But what has me wilded out is the fact that there are 4 pictures in the darkroom, and as much as this is kind of valuable information, and as much as this is a useful thing to have, if that's all, it kind of feels like it's not enough. So, sorry. But yes, that's kind of my concern, is that this still doesn't feel like it's a whole lot. What little it is, it's very valuable. And again, sometimes we can get gem flowers in here, which I don't think we've run across, but I have run across it. So if you know, you know. Also, this is just a bland window sitting here, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if there's any real significance to that, but because obviously we can walk in that area, but and it has to be draftable in a west wing corner, right? Oh, it can be any corner. I wonder if it's different if it's in some other corner. I don't know. But so that's interesting. So anyway, that's the conservatory. I want to get the armory because I want to try and nix the cost of a classroom because it's not so bad when it's 1, but because we have to do 8 to get to the end, it becomes a huge cost. So that's kind of my impetus for that. Is 1 or 2 is not a big deal, but having 8 gems kind of adds up really quickly. That's fine. We can just build up on this side and hopefully just keep doing it would be cool. We did math, we did flags, and that's to know their associated color for the sigils that we were doing, that we saw. I will redraw. I will bedroom, because I just kind of want to wander this side over here. Can I get a gem? No, I cannot. Okay. Classroom again. Hopefully we can parlor at some point. This is science. Next up, I believe, was art. But we don't have any more gems. So I probably want to either take a parlor or go to the library and keep going from there. But the library would be the bookstore. The bookstore is going to cost more than I have, so we'll see what we get. None of these are bad options, for the record. None of these are bad. I can't do garage because I don't have a gym. Boudoir will give me a gym and keep me going in the right direction that I want to go, and will give me 2 rerolls. So that's probably what I'm going to pick. But obviously we have 6 free redraws in a classroom, so I thought about that. But I think I want the gym out of here. So what's Christmas? 1, 2, 2, 5. Let's do it. Okay, from here I'm going to backtrack and go to the library. I will go ahead and draft the bookstore if I can, because the library is the only place you can draft it from. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, we'll draft it from the library. The library, oh, we have a book. I was like, do we have a thing for once? It's a book. Sightseer's Guide to Reddington. Checkout card. Anne Babbage, Lord Evanson, whoever that is. M. Lowry, who was our guest with the parlor. And Simon Jones. The third largest city in Fen Aries, the site of its former capital, Reddington, is synonymous with mountains, mystery, and magic. Many tourists head straight for the boardwalk and don't get much further than the botanical gardens. However, Reddington has much more to offer. This is the city that we can see in the distance. Um, so Fen Aries is clearly a province or place. Reddington is a former capital, hence Red and Fen Aries have a connection, which we'll see more later in more explicit detail, but that's a thing. Spectacular scenery, a historic castle, which is probably our thing, like the mansion, and a charming underground bazaar, which is not the mansion, reward visitors who wish to explore further. Reddington is that type of unique and changing place that lingers in your mind and memories long after you leave her. Botanical Gardens, the Reddington's most popular attraction and guaranteed cloud pleaser. Crowd pleaser. The Botanical Gardens is loved by both locals and visitors for its Aegeran canopy, house, and mausoleum. And if we recall, Aegera was the first era. So this is a first era canopy house and mausoleum. Its petal-covered trails and mind-boggling variety of flowers. This is the reason springtime is Reddington's busy season. Situated just east of town, the Botanical Gardens offers a scenic and captivating tableau of the natural countryside. A cobblestone trail meanders past over 1,000 species of tropical plants, each remarkable in its own right, yet even more stunning set against the spectacular backdrop of the Reddington Mountains. Allow yourself at least an hour to indulge in this picturesque walk, which concludes at Mainway Station. We did have Key and Station, right? What was it? The fifth? Is that a station left by one of your own? So Mainway Station, because there's so much built into this world, that's why I really feel like the manor is not the only thing we can walk around. Ilex X Messervey, a specimen of holly unique to Reddington's mountains. Since we are Mount Holly, we probably have those. Featherfall Keep, you will find sitting at the base of Mount Perma, Reddington's second highest summit, a historic site described by scholars as significantly important to the realm's past. Featherfall Keep, the former home of Lord William Epson, has until recently always been a private residence, serving as a family home to the Epsons since before the Third Era. After the death of Lord Epson, his oldest son Lionel Epson left the estate never to return. These are our ancestors through our mom, but specifically her mom. So our mom's mom was an Epson. Don't know about Lionel Epson, but Lord Epson, I believe, was her father. Therefore, our great grandfather through our mom's mom. Anyway, left the estate never to return. However, the daughter stayed, aka our grandmother, maintaining the residence and its staff until her marriage in 1951 to Simon Sinclair. At that point, Featherfall Keep ceased to be a family residence because she moved in here with the Sinclairs. It began operating as a historic museum and tourist attraction, and the estate was designated a National Historic Landmark in 1972. It is still believed by many that Featherfall was built by the first king of Orinda Aries when Reddington was still the capital. So Orinda Aries either precedes or is the same or is somehow a sister nation to Finn Aries, and Reddington was the capital at the time. Or Orinda Aries is a city. No, but Reddington is the capital, so Orinda Aries has to be the province. However, surface documents containing conflicting dates have recently cast some doubt on the long-standing myth. So basically, Featherfall Keep is where the Epsons lived before our grandmother married um, Simon Sinclair and moved in here on Mount Holly with the Sinclairs. Is the long and the short of it. Trinsdale Lake. Close your eyes and imagine tranquil, serene stillness, rolling fogs, clear water, and gliding swans. Swan and fog are connected here. Swan is so canary and dove is what canary and swan I think are what was it? No, crow or canary for the two birds and a swan in the snow from the Red Prince book. The swan is also on the coat of arms, which is what I was going to say, and is sort of symbolic for, I believe, the Epsons. Um, the fog has to do with, I told you about the climate and such, that kind of stuff being part of the sigils. Fog is going to be one of them. In the midst of all that beauty sits Trinsdale Lake, one of Finn Erie's premier vacation destinations, exclusive for its more privileged citizens. The lakeside resort and cabins have been frequented by royalty and the realm's gentry for generations. However, on the southern shore of the lake, tourists are free to enjoy the views and rub elbows with the rich and famous in the Hundred Bells Tea Room, which is open to the general public for lunch on Mondays and Fridays. The Hundred Bells Tea Room is a reference to or from, let's say, the underground. On that little desk, we saw the Hundred Bells Tea Room, and it said something at 5:30 Monday or Friday or something at 5:30. Mount Holly, at an elevation of 11,220 feet, Mount Holly is the tallest mountain in the Redington Range and the highest peak in the entire realm. Beyond the physical challenge itself, climbing Mount Holly Trail is a beautiful experience and one that many hikers and explorers will want to do at least once. We can see it from our front yard. It's only a few hours from Redington to get to the trailhead, and you won't need any local guides or special gear if you tackle the trail during the summer season. However, those willing to give the mountain a significant amount of planning and research will be greatly rewarded whether or not they actually summit. Sounds like there is, granted, you could say sentimental reward, but like if we're actually able to go here, gems out the wazoo, greatly rewarded after all. Wouldn't it be nice if this world, like the core game is to solve the puzzle of Mount Holly, but then like expansions later on open up the world because they have so much already thought up? That'd be cool. On the opposite side of the peak, far from the trail, rests the estate of Mount Holly. That's us. Nestled between the summit's northern slip and saddle, this 80-acre mountain residence is almost as old as Redington itself. However, unlike Featherfall Keep, the property has been completely private since the closing of Mount Holly Schoolhouse in '66, which is kind of what we read about in the schoolhouse in that note. Still, hikers will be able to appreciate the house's unique architecture at a distance from one of the trail's many north-facing overlooks. So we are north of Mount Holly, which kind of tells us north is uh, up, like on the, can't really see it, but when we do our little map, north is the top, which is where room 46 is, and south is where the entrance is. Is that it? Yeah. Mainway Station Bazaar. For the sentimental tourists wishing to pick up a souvenir to remember their stay, one might try braving the Mainway Station Bazaar. But don't be too hasty. Without proper guidance, the Mainway Station can be a dangerous place. Located underground, this unique marketplace was once Reddington's central railway station, in a time when the Realm's trains were still in service. So the trains are no longer in service, but when we saw Orinda Aries' stuff in the sigil room or whatever it was called, there were references to trains, and it looked like they might have been active. Um, so I think the trains were active during the Orinda Aries period, and whenever Finn Aries happened, that kind of went out the way. Now the turnstiles, footbridge, and platform have been appropriated and turned into a cavern of tents and torches, which again may have to do with unmining the underground of what we're doing, because, I mean, we're not unmining per se, but the Sinclairs were trying to get a lot of the underground pulled out, let's say. They found arches, they found structures, they found a lot of stuff that had been there from, antiquity. And this is in the early 1900s that they're unearthing this. Now we are late 19 or early 2000s is the present. Um, so it's already forever. And one of the foreman's logs said they don't know if it was buried by accident or intentional, but it was definitely buried, whatever was down there. So they've kind of been unearthing it generation by generation. Whether you are bargain hunting, looking for adventure, or finding a memento to commemorate your visit, the Mainway Station Bazaar will be a worthy conclusion to your sightseeing adventure in Reddington. And then the map, right? And the map is fascinating. I wish I had a magnifying glass. I should come back with a magnifying glass if I get it. Remember me? Come back with a magnifying glass, like you should have done at the schoolhouse the last time we got to the fourth one of those. But if we look on, let's start at the top, I guess. Trinsdale Lake, and above it, Angel Terrace. I think it says that. Maybe I'm wrong. Angel something. Um, there's Mount Perma, there's Featherfall Keep, there is 100 Bells, and it all goes to Reddington. Mainway Station Bazaar is just to the east of Reddington. Mount Holly is just south of Reddington, it looks like. Botanical Gardens are to the east. South of that is some kind of fork. It's the same word as angel, whatever it is, but I can't really make out what it is. And then the far east is something's end. Do we have an end written here? Looks like it was something that we had. No? See if I can skim to find something with it. I thought we had an end listed, but maybe I'm wrong. Bill's Tea Room, Trinsdale Lake, the State of Mount Holly, Featherfall Keep. I guess I don't know what that says. But something's End, Burrow's End. And then we have the Aries River. Aries River? I don't know. But yeah, we'll come back with a magnifying glass to look at that, because that seems like it will be relevant to something, at least. The lore. I'm not going to do a classroom, I'm going to do a bookshop. Heck yeah. But everything costs 40 or 50, but drafting strategy is cheap. Oh, Realm and Rune we're doing. Absolutely. We'll do drafting strategy volume 4 because volume 5 is technically already in the library. These are expensive and they're valuable. The first edition is very important. I haven't actually read this one. I have read this one, and I have no idea what it seems historical, maybe, but I'd have no idea what the significance of that one is. The drafting strategies are simply practical. I don't know the difference because Volume 5 is technically already in the library, so I don't know what the purpose of having two of them is. And yes, you do get two of them, and I've never actually sat down and examined the two compared to each other. So that's something I do want to do. But Realm and Rune will become hugely important as we progress in the sigil stuff, so it's important to have that one. So I'm going to go ahead and get in it. Den, yes. We're also going to try and fill in everything once again and probably fail once again. Closet? Yay, I'll take closet. Parlor we'll use on the other side if we have it. Key card is huge in case we get stuck outside the foundry. Foundation. Man, I do that all the time and I hate it. I have 3 rerolls, so we can really try for the parlor here. Drafting studio, though, I don't have enough for it. It's okay. I can pantry here. That won't be a bad thing. Boost up our change a tad. Classroom. Parlor. No. I need a magnifying glass. Can you provide me a magnifying glass, guys? That would be huge. We have already saved the correct answer for this one. The ones before this one were super easy. This one took some think-thunking, and so we had to figure this out quite a bit. But we have this. I don't think I looked at this last time. So we have Finn. To the south is Araja. To the north is Arch Ares. So theoretically the middle is Finn Ares, right? The castle is in the Finn area. Royal Museum, where the gems got stolen, right, is over to the west. And Mount Holly's to the east, and our mom said, hey, we're coming back eastward. There's Reddington, which was the former capital. Now the capital is in Finn. This is Finn Ares again. So the capital of Finn Ares is Finn, apparently. It used to be Reddington, apparently. And also, Orinda Ares used to be a thing, apparently. We have Oris. We have whatever this thing is. It's a mystery. It's not even labeled on here, which is sad because I couldn't read it on the other one. And then we have Colossus Orinda, which is probably a statue about what that looks like. And then we also had the curious thing of, was it this one? Yeah, I hope this isn't a political statement. It has the Orinda Ares on the Finn Ares area, right? We said Araja is south and Arch Ares is north. So this was interesting from Kathleen because it marks Orinda Ares as Finn Ares. And I wonder if they are the same province and just like Arinda Aries was Finn Aries before something happened. So that's a thought to have. Wine cellar would be great, but not here. Let's parlor. It'll get us to the corner. We'll get some gems. We'll also get a coin purse, which is kind of nice since we have things we want to buy, aka books. Hopefully we can get the treasure room. That'd be nice. Gems are in this box. Maybe the blue box is true. Gems are not in this box. Well, if this is true, right? And if this is false, this is false. But if this is false, then so is it. Then this one's false, right? Because it's either if the gems are not in this box, they may not be in this box. That's like the only possibility because these are pseudo linked in that if the gems are here, then this is false, and that makes this false because this is false. But if the gems are in the blue one, then this is false, and all three would be false, and that's not possible, right? If this is true, and the gems are not in this box, and this is true, the gems are in this box, then all three are true, and that's broken. So if the gems are not in this box, meaning this is true, this becomes true by default, and this one's false. The gems are not in this box, but they're not in this box. That means they're in this box, and that actually works. So there we go. Now we can afford more classrooms. And that was the entire point. We are now in classroom number 5, which we have never seen. Oh, this is art room. We have seen this. Okay. So we got to 5 last time. And this was just the picture game again. Car cart, plain pane, bride bridge, desert, pry and pray, stag and stage. Those are the usual combinations. There was this really creative one. He got a B, but it's because robot and root. The B is the difference. And I thought that was funny, but also weird. We're gonna need more keys, I suspect. Walk-in closet would be handy, but also death. Redraw as many times as we can. Core yard to be solid here, actually. Solid but dangerous. But it's guaranteed unlocked, and it may have a gem for us. We have a shovel, so I think we have. Shut up, phone. We have reason to expect that this could be okay, especially if we get the, you know, that one green room, the patio. We will get gems in both the patio and here, and that would be nice to have. This opens this up for us, which is not necessary, but I thought it was nice to have extra ways to go. It also unearths some stuff, like a tin can, which we desperately needed. Absolutely wanted that. Okay, my sarcasm is being punished, that's fair. Oh, both ways would be nice, but apparently I don't get that. Nook is probably more important because going upward is very important, so I don't have the gems for it. What to do? We already did the parlor. I don't want courtyard to be the only. Let's do Nook, see if we can go straight down, and then from boudoir we'll go up. We have three rerolls. This does get us a key, but nothing else. But that's kind of okay because we spent a key kind of getting here. We're gonna just use it immediately, and never mind. We can pretty well use chapel now, especially if it's unlocked on the other side. The one coin isn't gonna do much on this side of things. None of these are particularly helpful, and none of them are particularly bad. Billiard room will get us keys, and so I think I want that right now. Drawing room costs a gem and gets us a gem, and we don't have the money for it to afford it in the first place. And I don't want to spend rerolls here if I don't have to. No items, but we can solve us a puzzle. 4 and a square. So 4 squared is in fact 16. 1 and 2, but when do we square it? It says blue, so we'll do it at the end of blue. 1 plus 2 is 3, squared is 9. Voila. 4, it's blue, so 4 squared is 16, minus 10 is 6. And that's how you deal with squares, everybody. And we can't go anywhere, but we will see if the chapel, this door, is free. Yes, it is. So that saves us a gym. We can connect it right and left in the middle of the building, which is good. Good to have connection. It saves us on steppies. But we will get some steppies from here. And also, when we get to, if and when we get to rank 9, we'll have some steps from that. We want to go left and then right. We have not used West Wing room yet, so we can use West Wing hallway, so we can do that. Gymnasium's not ideal here, but it gives us a guaranteed up. So if I got something like utility closet from Gymnasium, it would be okay. I think I will do that. We have a key card, so this doesn't matter, which is actually a huge save. We get lots of keys, but we can't afford that, and I don't want to reuse stuff. I kind of want to reroll, though. I want utility closet from here. I think I'll storeroom just for the sake of the gym and the key. It's not a bad draw. It is a dead-end room, and it's probably going to come back to haunt us in the future, so it's good to go ahead and get it out of the way. But also, we're going to pay a price for that. I can't pick any locks, which is really unfortunate right now. We need to be picking things, not being subject to things. Also, Planetarium should be rare, so why is it popping up now? I will use one redraw. Boiler Room is solid. It costs us the gem. If we can get the Wine Cellar, that's what we really want. Or the Armory, so that we can permanently make this not a problem anymore. Thank you, Lockpick. Green rooms don't cost any money to draft, which could be huge. Can't see floor plans, which is kind of unhelpful. Classroom, but we can't afford it. So I say we probably redraw here. But I'm really skeptical of that choice. I'm doing it anyway. Treasure Trove is going to be massive, actually. But we can't afford it. And we freaking got these two again. And I don't want to use my last redraw, so Dark Room it is. As much as I hate that. Okay. But I can kind of do it. I have Boiler Room and I have Courtyard to go up, so I can kind of just YOLO this one. 2, 4, and 2. I'll pick the 2. It's probably Utility Closet or something. Oh, Hallway. I'll take it. That's a good roll. We saw this. 1983 is when Lady Clara Epson passed away. Or roughly. Within the year, probably, but whether that date is particularly close or not is debatable. Lockpick kit, heck yes. Corridor is guaranteed to be unlocked, and at the final rank, that's kind of big. We've got dinner. I don't have any special keys here, but I may not be going for room 46 today, so that would be okay. Quest bedroom or utility closet. Utility closet would be nice for steps because I will probably go through Gymnasium to get back, just based on the odds. But I don't care about the keycard doors. I can get the dark room unopened, the lit. So that's more important, actually. I won't get the garage now because I've completely drafted this side. But yeah, having that lit up is probably valuable. If nothing else, it gets me either item, key, or gem. We got broken lever. Can't do anything particularly well right now, but that may come in handy. So we will take that as a 50-50. Not good, not bad. I need better options game. I suppose I'll spare room. Let me redraw, actually. How many mecha rooms do I have? I have utility closet. I have boiler room. Looking very carefully, making sure I don't miss anything. I have workshop. So Mechanarium would have at least 3 doors, right? So I would get at least 1 door out of this, assuming it doesn't count itself. So I have a total of 4 doors. I'll say the entrance door plus 3 is how I'm going to do that. So Mechanarium does not count itself, but the entrance door that does not count either. So that's a funsy little thing. Also, I have not yet technically missed any rooms either, so that's nice. I can't pick this one. I've got 2 keys left. I'm trying to be... Oh, none of these are good. Basically, I guaranteed lose a thing. Shops. I only have 1 right now, so I think bunk room is not going to be particularly helpful for my money situation. Quest bedroom will probably get me a gem or an item. Maybe a key. Yeah, a key, which is not bad because we spent a key doing it, so that's fine. Can't pick this one, but I got a key out of forgiveness on the other one, so this will be okay. I will aquarium so that I can have... I can't aquarium. I will spare room. I really need gems. Can I get a wine cellar, please, actually? None of these give me what I want. But we get to see this one, and that'll be interesting. And it gives us multiple directions, and that's interesting. They're always security doors, but we have the key card, which is why I did it. We have a crown here, right? That's relevant to something. And we have a allowance puzzle. But the goal of this one, it doesn't have anything, right? But it does. I'll go ahead and put this. Dearest children, the pieces are in place and all rigid cogs have been greased. However, if our ambitious plans are to succeed, we must strike this Tuesday, which we don't know which Tuesday this Tuesday is, but this Tuesday. The routine changing of guard personnel on the first of each month means the opportunity we have created for ourselves will likely never be so opportune. If we wait even one additional week, the window will be closed. So we know it's the first of the month. We know it is a Tuesday. And we have other letters corresponding, like for instance, the Dovecote said, "Hey, I'm coming back east or whatever. If it's not safe, raise the SD." I am stuck on that. I'm very fixated on that, but uh, at the same time, that may help date. Because I think this is maybe March, if I recall, but my memory's not great, so that may help give us a date. On Tuesday, there will be 3 royal guards stationed at Learson Hall, 2 of which will be wearing black gloves in lieu of the traditional white. We would be wise to sacrifice almost everything to avoid the white-gloved guard, striking only when he takes a recess. The 2 black-gloved guards have been instructed to bind, blind, and gag themselves to spare us the precious extra minutes it would take your group to execute that task on their behalf. However, that also means that once we reach the exhibit, we will truly be on our own. So the black-gloved guards we saw in a note, I believe last time, maybe the time before that we had sympathizers. Some people were just there for the money. Other people were actual sympathizers politically, I think. Um, so the Black Glove Guard is one of our, again, either sympathizers or opportunists. We don't really know who. May the black shores guide us. May the black skies shield us. May our fathers be proud of us. In arms, your faithful soldier Pharaoh. We don't really know who Pharaoh is to this point. Like I don't know myself. But the black shores and the black skies, the symbolism of black was Orinda Aries. So definitely this is kind of a political thing in favor of Orinda Aries. And we're going to solve our puzzle now. So this kind of requires knowledge that we don't yet have. But basically when you press the red button, the black ones turn white. Or red, I mean, on this one. And it only propagates down and up for the middle one. I don't know why it's actually up on that one. But that's not the answer, so we will undo it. Green switches corners. I guess yellow does nothing. Propagates that way. Oh, and then once we have 2, it propagates to the corner. So once you have two in a direction, it'll do the third up and down, and that's how that worked, I think, and side to side. But I think it propagates up and down as long as you have one, and then when you have two, it'll propagate side by side. But okay, that's fun. Let's do down first because we want to go to the right, basically. Oh no, none of these are good. Study will be okay, but we'll miss the middle room, which I don't like. Wah. But it guarantees gets us at least one gem and a key. Sometimes you can get coins, sometimes you can get gem, and sometimes you can get key from this room. Spin. Anyway, can I recognize anything on here? Okay, well these are continents, so we can't actually see the bottom half of the world. This is the hump. This was the V. Down there was the bump. Down here somewhere was the diamond. And then over here we have Fin Aries, Arch Aries, and down there is Araja. I think is how the map is actually squared out. But we can finally get 1208. We can finally get a gem. One idea too is you could use the foundation to go get a gem from the other note that's downstairs. I guess I will armory, but I can't afford the axe, so what am I really doing? Classroom gets us another classroom, we'll lose with 6 total. Armory takes us up even if we can't buy anything, so we'll do that. We have this, which only costs 8 and is useful, so we'll hope we can get some money. Commissary is not good for our money or our gems, so we will hold off on that. Armory is technically a shop, so that would do something. But we are going to hold off and give ourselves options before we do anything in particular. Hey, we can pick it. Wine cellar, absolutely. It's really too late for this, but we really need the gems early on. But it doesn't hurt to have them. And then if we get the attic again, or something like this, which kind of sucks, then we can do this. Beep, beep, beep. Lost and found, not like I care. Or bunk room because I don't care. I've got a blank space top left anyway. I couldn't have filled in everything anyway. What gets me money? This one gets me money. This one doubles my stuff, and that makes me buy the thing, and so I can unlock the thing. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. Got me some steps. So yeah, that was not a bad move at all. And then we have this, right? Fascinating, isn't it? We will come back to that. I will go ahead and hit the first two. Lower the barrier. There goes our barrier. And there's the security. So we'll go ahead and open this so we have no complaints, no regrets in life. We don't need our keys anymore. Do we want a dovecote? Do we want to classroom? I think we'll go ahead and classroom. That will give us how many total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total. And we may get a 7th at Courtyard, which makes me really sad because there's only 8 that I know of. Ooh, this must be the planets. History is pinned by the victors, so that's telling. We have a black flag and a red flag. That's relevant. Dorinda Aries is black. History worksheet, multiple choice. Who was the first crown ruler of Fin Aries? General Teskin. Which city in Fin Aries is named after a historical figure? Reddington. Unlikely. How many sons did the 4th king of Arindia have? 2. How How long did the War of the Fifth Era last? 22 years, which I believe we actually read in the book that we have. The version of the History of Erendia that we have said that. Which realm did not ally with Finn Ares during the war, Arch Ares? Which flag was forbidden to be flown at full staff after the war, the Black Flag? So, Civil War maybe? This one's 4 out of 6. What was this one? 4 out of 6. First crown ruler Finn Ares, Desolates the Fourth. Which city in Finn Ares is named after a historical figure? Horus. How many sons did the fourth king of Erendia have? 2. How long did the War of the Fifth Era last? The entire era. Which is not true. So we know 4 is wrong. Which realm did not ally with Finn Ares during the War of Raja? What flag was forbidden to be flown? The Black Flag. So, Black Flag is probably correct. This one got 4 out of 6. But there were a number of differences from the last one. This one's also 4 out of 6. 22 years, Araja, Black Flag. We know the 22 years is right, and we know the Black Flag is probably right. This one agrees in Araja. This one says Reddington is probably false. General Teskin might be correct. So 66 would probably be wrong. Especially sons of the fourth king. How do you have 66? So I'm going to say that 2 and 3 are probably wrong. So Teskin, 22 years, Araja, and Black Flag are correct. Teskin is wrong here. 2 and 3 are probably correct. And number 4 is probably wrong. Araja and Black Flag. Araja and Black Flag. Okay, so the correct answers would be Teskin, Horus, 2, 22, Araja, and Black Flag. And we'll go ahead and take a picture and mark that. Whole Forja. Richard R. Noah W. Let's go ahead and look at Noah's and double check it. Teskin's correct, Reddington's wrong, 2 is correct, 22 is correct, Arch Ares is wrong, Black Flag. Okay, so yeah, I think we're good on that. Let me go ahead and look at my picture, my screenshot, and just go ahead and mark edit. I'm actually scrolling over it, but I'm in a different window, but it still notices where my cursor is. That's funny. Markup. The city in Finn Ares, named after a historical figure, is Horus. And the sons that the fourth king had was 2. 22. I will check, and check. And we will save. Nice. Plop. Okay. Any more things over here? We do 3 out of 6. Learson's wrong. Horus 2 are correct. 12 is wrong. Arch Ares is wrong. Black Flag is wrong. Okay. Or Black Flag is correct. So 3 and 3. Yeah. Yeah. And then we have this, which is freaking space. Can I look at this? No, I can't. Can I blind myself? Wait, hold on. I could. What could I do? Next slide. Ooh, so red versus black. Ooh, fascinating. Next slide. Can I just do it from here? I can. Okay. There's wounded. There's Hippopare, so red 1. That's probably the new king, the king of red. They are breaking the railroad. Those are axes, right? Those are not tools of constructing. Those are breaking the railroads. Okay, well, that's first of all red. And second of all, military. And then we're back to the beginning, okay. So, I don't know if you remember, but when we were reading the, what's it called, Rune and whatever book, it was kind of torn up. Rune and Realm, the torn up version downstairs. Well, we can go look at it again, I guess, but we will see something interesting from that. So anyway, we have this third reset alarm system button. So we're going to try and go around really quickly to the closed exhibit. So reset, it's got a timer. We are sprinting as best as we can, though I got dragged along a wall, so I may fail at this. But we can go in. That's what happens if you fail it, but we got the paper crown, a familiar red paper crown. If there's not a red room among the first 3 floor plans you draw while drafting, you may withdraw floor plans. Also useful for rehearsing museum burglary, because this was the closed exhibit that they used to plan out their theft, courtesy of Mother. So we missed technically 2 rooms because we can go back to Courtyard and get that one open now because we have 2 keys and we don't care. But that's this room. So that's a fascinating thing to have. But if you don't disable the alarm or whatever, you get that and you can't reach it, so it's fine. We got that, so our allowance is now 29. We will go back to Courtyard and see what we can do. We've got food in the dining room, and we'll go out front, I suppose, to the drafting thing, and we'll see something interesting. We also have this that we can get now. And we can do something interesting with that. So we will conclude with those. It'll be about an hour, so that'll put us fine. This has been a pretty useful run, actually. More useful than I thought it would be. Got all the rooms in the world, so we'll come through here. We also have a gym. We're not plagued by this room. We don't have a furnace, I don't think, so we're not going to get anything extra out of this, but we have 38 steps, so it doesn't matter that much. Let's see, go through the chapel, which is fine because I don't need the money anymore. But that item that lights candles and stuff, we can light the chapel. Da, 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 da. I don't think this is going to be particularly valuable today, but the Keeper of the Tithes, the chapel's resident guardian, tasked with the sacred duty of keeping the money accumulated from chapel offerings. Break the keeper, not yet. I'm going to say not yet, because we'll get the money all at once, but it's a one-time gig. Also, I'll go through and renumber these guys, right? So 2 was the chef. 3 was the pitchfork. 6 is the horse jockey. 4 is the top hat sweeper person, who's been referenced quite a bit, actually. Also, he's wearing black, so maybe he's not a symbol of Arenda Aries, because Arenda Aries is symbolized by the crown, which is also black. But he is by the train tracks, that one picture, so maybe these 2 are some kind of both patrons of Arenda Aries, I don't know. But red and black on him, red and blue, blue and white, so I don't really know what that goes about. Number 5 is the broom, which is just of the maids, and you can see it's wearing a maid outfit. If you look kind of carefully at mostly at the dress, it's a maid outfit. Again, the king is 7, and number 1 is the hoe. So I don't know if there's a way to integrate all of them into rooms, but certainly most of them. And I cannot tell what's freaking behind. I think it's just a sun, right? The sun on the front thing, and then like light behind it. But there is angel wings, but you can't really tell what that is. So I don't know, but there's Mount Holly up there. Continuing along now, we will go Nook Foundation Courtyard. Okay, that's not the Nook, is it? That's not the Nook, that's the wrong way. Nook Foundation. Downstairs doesn't get me anything I don't already have. Courtyard. It's locked. Well, it's not locked. Okay. We can't afford the trophy room, but man, that would have been interesting. The gift shop doesn't really matter. We'll do lost and found just for the lulz. Oh, but we won't go in because we still have the torch that we want to keep, so we'll hold off on that, but it exists and we can come back to it. This takes us back down. And we have a few more books to check out from the library, and they will be very interesting. I don't remember what all I bought, but we can go and check because we have plenty of steps. Realm and Rune, okay, and Drafting Strategy 4, which is the one that we don't have. 5 is one we do. And I forgot it's not a waste of steps because it exists. I did want to talk about because it mentioned Orinda Ares in here. Yeah. It is still believed by many that Featherfall was built by the first king of Orinda Ares when Reddington was still the capital. So Orinda Ares is like the past of this land, and at some point it became Finn Ares. We saw kind of a war, so I will assume civil war. Orinda Ares had all the train tracks and stuff, and Finn Ares won, and so they broke up all the train tracks and stuff, you know? And stuff. So let us take our beloved torch down here. And this will be interesting. And then we don't mind at all sealing this back up with water. So the order we've accomplished this in is actually a really good order. But we have stuff come down here. And we see this curious little room with, again, Orinda Ares stuff here, and that half the map. But we have torches to light. Stairway, but not to heaven. So that's what we really wanted that for. We come out here, and that's a thing. Kind of cramped, kind of dark. Hard to see, but we'll keep trying. 50 something, 502 maybe. Scripps and Redford Mining Company, Excavation Department. Foreman's Log 20, date 7/25/1915. So still probably Thomas Sinclair, oh, it says so. After waiting the better part of 3 weeks for the equipment to be carefully hoisted down the cliffside one piece at a time, the wait is finally over. Today we begin our formal foray into the mountain and begin excavation of the first tunnel, the first of many. They did do many, we see the other ones in the actual, in the actual underground area. To prevent future delays, Thomas Sinclair has generously volunteered to install a freight lift to facilitate both personnel transport. And something, normally. But, however, after seeing his ornate designs, one can't help but feeling the Baron's delicate taste might be better suited for the ballroom crowd. aka it was too fancy. Regardless of the particulars, I'm sure my crew won't object to riding down to the tunnels in a fashionable style. So this is basically the elevator that we found is actually technically a freight lift. Which we saw was ultra fancy, uber fancy, however you want to put it. And we have a door. Where does this lead? It's a familiar underground area. We come over here, we have the chess room. Yes, so now we have connected the downstairs elevator to the underground rooms, and so we don't need the fountain or the tomb to get in there. We come down here and we have Realm and Rune. It was the Foreman's copy. Finn Ares. We see a thing on the bottom right, and the last sentence says each line, each circle, and each variation tells the story of the land. Even the adorned borders around the sigils have special meaning. That's the sigil. It's a pentagon, has some wavy lines, the cross lines that we have at Orinda Ares sigil that we already solved, and the little crown peak things that were yellow. The core. So the first one we can assume is Orinda Ares. The pentagon says Finn, likely. It's the only F one that we have. And the hourglass is a Raja. We know that the peaks are Arch Ares, and a Raja is purple that we know of. And we know that Arch Ares is yellow, and that's based on the flags that we already saw in the first classroom. And then the orange one that we saw for the arrow is Ka something. We have raised that we don't understand. Carriages, locomotion, something or another. Rainy realm, heat, stormy, windy, etc. The moats, martial, we know. We get to hear the border. We've already done black. But there's also violet, which again would be Iraja. Green, I don't think we have any indication of. Orange is the V. White, I don't think we have indication of. Yellow, we don't have indication of. Oh, yellow is Arch Aries, that's correct. Pink, we have no indication of. And red is Fin Aries, and it's the wisps that we saw. Putting it all together, we have this thing, which, if you can't put together, what was it? Red border, Marshall, and Fin Aries, then this is Fin Aries sigil. Red is correct. Marshall is the peak thing on the moats, and its fog is supposedly the 4 rays with the crosses on them. So that's what that is. That's actually Fin Aries' sigil. The full version of the book will be a little bit more explicit, like painfully obvious that that's what that is, but we went ahead and bought it so that we can use it for every realm, because every realm abides by it. But we have no way to call the elevator, so it's only useful coming down. It's not like if we have the tomb, we can't really go up from the tomb this way. But if we can call the elevator down because we're coming from the fountain area, we can just shoot through here. Nothing special over in this corner of rubble. Come up the lantern room, and we are in the underground. Which is more useful when we have the foundation. When we have this area drained by 1, we can use this port to go to the other side. We can access both sides as it is, which will be useful in the future. Once we do drain that more and more, we basically wouldn't even need to explore the house at all. We could just come down here and get to work once it's drained. Assuming, like, let's say we drain it one day but don't have the steps to actually do anything about it, we can just come the next day and use our steps on that part. So other fun facts. We have the lighter, so let's come over here. There's one more thing we can light today, and there's more we can light in the future. But if we happen to come down here, traverse by the bird baths, we have this dark area down here. And if we hug the walls a little bit, we will come across a thing that says light me please, and another thing that says light me please. And we're like, oh, we have things over here. Foreman's log, still assay 502, Foreman's log 621, date 6/18/1918. The complete manifest for all the excavation equipment has been rigorously checked and delivered to the upper branch. After tomorrow, the site will be sealed and all remaining hardware will be packed up and transported to the original access tunnel for long-term storage. Don't know entirely where that's supposed to be, but apparently there's going to be a lot of gear there. It's unclear if they will also seal the tunnel after our crew has left, but I suspect they may want to keep ready access to the gear, especially now that they have begun operations in the East Mine. We have no information about the East. A month ago, I believe that discovery of the gemstones in that cavern. Oh, that's the gem. That's the gem area. Okay. I believe that the discovery of the gemstones in that cavern was directly linked to the closure of this site, but now I'm not so sure. The Baron doesn't seem the type to value shiny baubles over history. So he doesn't care about the gems as much as he does Orinda Aries. And this is, again, 1918, so Thomas Sinclair. Add the tunnel to our drafting room, sure. The benefit is you can always draw a tunnel while drafting in this room, so it's a guaranteed straight line. So if you ever want to go somewhere, or let's say we were in chapel, and we want to get to the front of the antechamber, we can just tunnel, 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 tunnel. So that's the fun of that. I don't think we can dig anywhere here, but I can't see anything, so might as well look. That's a negatory. Okay. So I do want to follow up on a couple things because we're basically done with the house for today and have plenty of steps left over. I do want to go to the Lost and Found, which is right by the foundation, which means I could probably just walk there really quickly. since I'm already heading this way, not all of these have a tile, but this is also like empty, it looks like. The one down had a tile next to it. That's no purpose for us now. That does not have anything at the bottom of it. Okay, so kind of a red herring. I wanted to recheck this note and see from what era this note was. It doesn't say it. Okay, but here is the last of the equipment for the new mine. I don't think we're going to need more than this, especially if we're going to limit excavation to 2 stones per day. So they're sort of still excavating. The boss informed us there are 2 other ways into the site from the side, from that side, aka probably the west. The reservoir side, it looks like. But I think we're going to leave that for someone else to finish up if the old man really wants it done. I'll go ahead and just read the whole thing, I guess. We managed to remove all but 1 minecart from the old tunnels. I'm not sure that foreman is going to be too happy about that, but hopefully you can smooth it over. Now there's still 1 more cart down there, but it's locked on a short track. Again, the minecart. It's a little bit awkward because it's blocking the passage, so I suggest someone move it from the other side if they can get over there. But yeah, you can go. Basically, that's the hint towards the freight lift as well as the brick wall that we opened with the power hammer. So those were former excavations. This is quote unquote still being excavated. That's where we're getting the 2 gems per day from, is the people still working in this mine to try and unseal things. So one thing else that I'm thinking of is just all the things that are left unresolved. The 1:30 thing in room 46, the couple of the clocks were stuck at 1:30. And the sundial is more like 3:25. And I'm thinking, can we angle that to make it 1:30? And the answer is no. So those are going to be separate issues, whatever they are. This is fully powered, but we're going to do this. Where am I going with this? Self-igniting torch. Did I have something I wanted to light? I feel like I did. Also, do I have a room to leave stuff in for tomorrow? I don't know that I did that. I do have the lost and found I want to go back to. Oh, I just want to go into the foundation from here because I have the key card to call the elevator. That's right. What date was this one? 1917, so this one was earlier. Back when Thomas Sinclair gave them the electronic equipment instead of having to haul everything by hand. They were able to actually use electric hoists and such. To which they were very happy, naturally. The reference to the T, let me go ahead and look at that while I'm down here too. Did it just say the time or did it say a date? Because we saw Tuesday, the 1st of the month. Come on. That's not it. Sandy Heights, 5 p.m. Okay. That's Sandy Heights at 5 p.m. I don't know where that is. 100 Bells is just the card. They did say on Sandy Shores is something that they have said. Black Sands, or rather. So Sandy Heights and Black Sands might be referenced to the same thing. I have a key card, so let me skip a lot of the steps and get to the lost and found. Smoosh me! Okie dokie. We're getting things done low-key. We do want to go to Her Ladyship's chamber. That's something we knew, that we have to go on the west wing and have to go down. So like if we came from boudoir to the classroom, that's how we would unlock it. Which way to the beach? Not this way. We did lost and found, so we can afford to lose the torch now. We lost the lever, no big deal. For the next 1 minute, you will not lose steps when entering rooms, keys when opening doors, or gems when drafting special rooms. Fascinating item to have. Can I take that to the workshop, which is really far down. I get down by following this crazy path. This is a nice item. Never got the magnifying glass, so that's unfortunate. I don't even remember what I wanted it for, but I did want it. Will time pause while I have this thing? Sure will, but I don't have the ability to use it. Okay. I'm going to see if it disappears from my inventory when that happens. 10, 9, 8. It does, okay. I think we'll just call it here. Also, this is a rook room. Good to know. Conservatory is a rook if I ever need to change that. But yeah, from here, drafting studio should be much more common. Planetarium should become more rare. Planetarium offers us nothing, but if we end their day there, that it gets us 2-star increase. But I think I'll call it here. Again, we have all 4 of these open. We got further in the school run than we usually do. We got things lit. We have seen the paper crown. And anyway, good run, good knowledge, good lore. Such good lore. We'll call it here. Got our allowance up a little bit too. Got some books that we will want. So yeah. Palatial campus. 6 classrooms and a library. Total rooms 43, bank rank reached 9. Steps taken 114, items found 11, new rooms 3. That being the bookshop, the conservatory, and the new classroom maybe? Or the wine cellar or the closed exhibit, probably. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye!